Okay, I want to show you something really cool. Okay, so this is Dahlia Floret, and it is one of my favorite varieties that's come from our breeding work here on the farm. And she's absolutely beautiful. Flowers start out this kind of richer rosy pink, and then as they fade, they kind of get sun bleached. You can see the petal tips become more peachy, long twizzly petals. Now, she's not a good cut flower. Petals drop, I mean, good for a few days, but definitely a little bit more on the fragile side. So she's really just so glorious in the garden and for like your own bouquets. But this year we of course divided the tubers that we had, and we have about 4 times as many as we had the year before. So there are, I think we've got 8 long, almost 100-foot rows of floret out here in the back field, and it is doing so well, and we're already starting to get some seeds forming. But I wanted to show you, so one of the awesome things when you grow dahlias is that if you want to clone or duplicate a variety that you love, like floret, if I want it to come back true, I would divide the tubers, or I could do cuttings. But if I want to create new varieties, I can save the seed and see what I get from that. So see all these tags here all the way down? These are pretty much all seedlings that I fell in love with from the seeds that came from floret. So I just wanted to show you some varieties, their kids or their offspring look similar to them and others don't. And one of the cool things about floret is that so many of her daughters, that's what I call them, even though they're kids, they're all the kinds of, all different types of creatures in here. They look very much like their mom. Okay, so we've got floret here, so you can see this. And then here is one of her children. See how beautiful? So right now, none of these have names because they're just a few years old. So this is G54, terrible name, but you can see another floret daughter. And then we've got G57 and so on down this row. And I feel like pretty much all of these are something that I want to keep. Look at this. So the cool thing about floret is it's like both kind of a collarette and a anemone, had a baby, and then you can see this is a much shorter plant, but look how beautiful these flowers are. Like, I don't know if that would actually be a cut flower or if it's a little bit too crazy or wouldn't last long enough, but it's really fun to see all of the children that have come from her seeds. So you can see some of them have that open center without twizzly petals, and other ones, see this, you can see mom and child. Again, mom and child. So if you're growing the Petite Florets, those are seeds that were collected from floret, and you're probably finding a whole lot of these beauties in there. So one of the things that I discovered a few years back was that the seeds that we collected from floret produced more keepers, is what I call them, more beautiful varieties than any other dahlia I've collected seeds from. And now we have a whole field over there, a whole patch of floret just for seed because she produces such beautiful offspring. But I just wanted to show you some of the really fun ones. And then we go into the kind of yellows. So we've got this beautiful buttercreamy yellow, lots of coral and pink and peach. And then these guys are not from floret. This is firefly, some that were from apple blossom, and then we've got some that came from the Can Girl seed mix that are more of the anemone types. But here's another from floret. So see, there's floret, and then there is an offspring, and that really unusual coloring to the petals. So this whole row here, these are all floret babies. A bunch of these are, not all of them, some of them are from the anemone mix, and then a bunch of them also are from shooting stars. So these are, the shooting stars mix has lots that are collarettes. The seed was collected from our collarette field. So lots of the babies are collarettes, but just wanted to show you. So there's a lot of brighter ones on this side, but then here are all the floret babies. But every one of those metal labels is a different variety. So we have a couple hundred. I don't even know at this point. I've lost count of all numbers. There's just too many amazing flowers out here. But lots and lots of varieties that are under observation, that are in the works. And then of course I'm selecting more. But I think of all the seedlings that I'm growing out from floret, this first one that I showed you is my very favorite, and it definitely needs a name. So I would love to, if you are growing any of the seeds that you got from us, especially the dahlias, and you find one that you consider a keeper or that you've fallen in love with, tag me, because I want to see what you're getting. Are you getting this as cool of ones as I am? So there's definitely keepers in there, and then there's also some ones that are maybe a little too bright or not really to your liking. But that's the fun about dahlias, is that it really is that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder and the gardener, and you get to keep whatever you like, and then it's a new variety, you get to name it, you can dig up the tubers, you can save it. So there's just a lot of fun things about growing dahlias from seeds. So here are all the ones that are under observation, and then over here are varieties that have been being grown for many more years. They're also breeding varieties, and once they get blooming, I'll give you a little tour of those guys.